Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're tackling something that is absolutely critical for any community organization, and that's digital security. I want you to start thinking about your organization a little differently, not just as a group of people with a mission, but as a digital fortress. And today, we're going to learn how to build its walls, lock its gates, and defend it.
And just so you know, all the strategies we're diving into today are pulled straight from chapters 7 and 8 of the Generative AI for Community Organizations tutorial. We're really zeroing in on two key areas: locking down your email and pulling the curtain back on the invisible world of data brokers.
So let me ask you something. You've got a lock on the door to your physical office, right? Of course you do. So why would your online presence be any different? Your digital space holds so much sensitive information, and leaving it unprotected, well, it's pretty much the same as leaving that front door wide open for anyone to walk through.
All right, let's get right to it and start with the most important part of our fortress, the main gate. For pretty much every organization out there, that's your email. It's how you communicate, how you coordinate. It's the main way in and out. And that, of course, makes it the #1 target for attacks.
And the threats trying to get through that gate, they aren't some far-off, complicated thing. We're talking about everyday stuff. Phishing emails that look legit and try to trick your staff. Unsecured emails with private info just sitting there in plain text. And oh, the dreaded reply all disaster that exposes an entire contact list to everyone. Each one of these is like a battering ram aimed right at your digital front door.
So how do we actually defend this gate? Well, the good news is the methods are probably simpler than you think. Using encrypted email and turning on two-factor authentication, that's like putting a heavy-duty deadbolt on the door and posting a guard. Training your team to spot phony emails, that's like building a watchtower with vigilant lookouts. But the absolute golden rule is this one: treat sensitive data like it's cash. You wouldn't just leave a pile of money out in the open, so for goodness sake, don't send it in an unprotected email.
Okay, so once that main gate is secure, we need to turn our attention to the folks inside the walls. I'm talking about your contact lists, your donors, your volunteers, your clients. These lists aren't just data. They represent your community. And protecting their information isn't just a tech problem. It's a fundamental issue of trust. Think of this as your 4 golden rules for respectful digital housekeeping. It's really simple when you break it down. First, get permission. Only talk to people who've said they want to hear from you. Second, keep your lists separate. What a donor needs to hear is different from what a volunteer needs to hear. Third, if someone wants out, let them out immediately. And finally, keep things tidy. Clean out old data every few months. It's all about consent and respect.
And here it is, one of the simplest, easiest, yet most powerful tools in your entire privacy toolkit. We've all seen it happen, right? That mass email goes out and suddenly you can see the email address of every single person on the list. Yikes! The solution is right there in your email client, the blind carbon copy, or BCC. It hides the recipient list, and with one simple click, you've protected everyone's privacy. Use it.
Okay, so we've reinforced the gates against direct attacks. But what about the threats you can't even see? What about the spies outside the walls? Because out there, beyond your fortress, there's a huge, invisible marketplace for personal data, where unseen scouts are constantly gathering intel on, well, everyone.
And these scouts, they have a name: data brokers. These are companies, literally, whose entire business is to quietly collect personal information from thousands of different sources, bundle it up, and sell it to the highest bidder. And the wildest part, they do it all without you ever knowing it's happening.
And what kind of information are they collecting? Honestly, it's pretty much everything. It starts with the basics you'd expect: names, addresses, phone numbers, but it quickly goes way deeper into your shopping habits, your browsing history, your social media posts, and even incredibly sensitive stuff like financial and health data.
So where do they get all this stuff? You'd be surprised. They pull from public records, sure, but they're also getting it from the tracking cookies on websites, the apps on your phone, other companies you buy from, and even just by scraping your public social media profiles. They take all these little pieces and stitch them together to build a shockingly detailed file on you.
I know, that sounds pretty unsettling, maybe even a little scary. But here is the really important part. You are not powerless here. You can actually take steps to scrub your information from these markets. You can essentially make your team, and by extension your organization, invisible to these data spies.
So here's your battle plan for taking your data back. Step 1, figure out who the big players are. Step 2, go to their sites and search for yourself and your key staff. You might be shocked at what you find. Step 3, use their own opt-out forms to request they remove your info. And finally, and this is key, you have to monitor it. This isn't a one-and-done fix. You've got to stay vigilant because the data can creep back in.
Now, if that 4-step process sounds like a ton of work, well, you're not wrong. It can be really time-consuming. So here's a pro tip. Consider using an automated service. For a subscription fee, companies like these act like your own personal data detective, constantly finding and removing your information from these broker sites for you. It can be a real game changer.
All right. We've talked about securing the gate, protecting the community inside, and dealing with the spies outside. Now let's bring it all home. Let's put it all together into a clear set of policies that will make your entire digital fortress stronger and more resilient from the ground up.
Your first line of defense is and always will be your own team. The single most important thing you can do is just educate them. Teach your staff and volunteers what data brokers are and give them the resources they need to opt out. Simple little things like using generic email addresses like info@ for public-facing roles can also make a huge difference in reducing their personal risk.
And then for your community, your donors, your clients, the people you exist to serve, the rules need to be even stricter. Your contact list is sacred ground. Never, ever sell or share it. When you celebrate your supporters, ask for their permission and stick to first names. Protect their stories and their data like it's your own. That is how you build and keep real, lasting trust. Because at the end of the day, building this digital fortress, it's not really about technology. It's about honoring the trust that your community gives you. They share their information, their stories, their support because they believe in what you do. So the final question is really for you to take away. How strong are the walls you've built to protect them?